So the Meteora allocation checker for the Season 1 airdrop is now live, and what you're able to do is see what it is and decide whether you want to allocate to the NFT or hold your tokens. So I've gone ahead and loaded up the METTG website. I'm going to connect to a wallet and I'm actually going to allocate these tokens to the NFT pool. Now, my overall plan is there's a ton of ways you can play it. I've got roughly what my total allocation is, as I didn't know this before. Across different wallets, I've kind of tallied up what the total is, and what I've decided is with the vast majority I will not be entering the NFT pool, but with a lot of the smaller ones, which they total a small amount but it's still nowhere near my main wallet, I will be putting them into the NFT pool. So you can see on this wallet 530 allocation, all from 2025, so it generated not a ton but about $5,000 in fees for the Season 1, and I can register for the liquidity, and we can see it is half full right now, and this is 23 minutes in, and it filled up very quickly to the 40%. Obviously most of that was the Jupiter people, but it's not going crazy quick, so it's not filling up in minutes. You will have time to decide, but once it's in, you will not be able to reverse it. But it is super simple to deposit. Just click register, deposit, and now my 530 tokens will be in, and we do have a little video of that as well. And I guess as a reminder, the pre-market right now is around 1.1 billion using hyperliquid. Obviously can't look into this a ton, but if we do go back over to Twitter, Tux actually just posted this on his Twitter, so I will have a link to this. And this shows basically what his plan is, and what he said was that he is going to deposit the majority or his main wallet into the NFT pool. And basically what this is showing is, looking at the pre-market price of 1.1 billion, which is this scenario one, if the price was to reach that in the first 1 to 2 minutes, which is when the fees are highest, you would be offsetting the impermanent loss with the fees you generate. But of course, this has to be very, very early volume, and he doesn't go into detail about what he would do after those first few minutes. But pretty much when the fees are very high, you expect bots or users to clear the market inefficiencies from 500 million to the rightful market cap, then the impermanent loss should be outweighed by fees. So is it bullish if the NFT doesn't fill up? And I'm trying to think through all the scenarios this has just happened, but I imagine if people are deciding not to get the NFT, to me that means that they believe it could go higher than the price we're all predicting, or that they don't think the volume in those first couple of minutes will be enough to make it worth it depositing into this pool. But I think it's still very valid to assume you could basically just go in the pool for the first 1 to 2 minutes. The volume's not there, you simply remove and do whatever you want. But there is a ton of things you can do, and I'm sure in the next week you'll be able to see some of those things. But what I'm looking at right now is just going on Twitter, seeing what some of the people with really big allocations are doing. Like we can see here, Solana Princess, 2 million has said she has put it into the liquidity pool. But let's say you're happy with the current price, which is on hyperliquid. And of course it is quite fairly illiquid. It depends what your allocation is, of course. But what you're able to do, if you think 1.2 billion is a good price, you could open a short here with the same value of what your airdrop looks like it will be. Open a short, and you will pay funding fees, and also you do have the risk if we have a massive pump, it could get liquidated. But after you claim through the regular methods, after a few minutes, you would sell your allocation, close your short, and you will have locked in this current price. But other than this, slightly more abstract, we do have polymarket, where it's a prediction market, so it's done slightly differently, and it's done 1 day after launch. I don't know if there's a market for 5 minutes after launch, but how it works is that literally a full 24 hours after the launch, depending on what the market cap is at that time, if you bet that it would be below 1 billion, you could lock in some profit. And you would currently be looking at, if I click on no and I enter 100 right here, you could see I would be earning almost a 3x. So this is another potential method, and to be honest, it's up for you to work out. I will not be using either of these methods to kind of hedge my allocation. I will just be doing it through the NFT, and also through Meteora, where I will be most likely opening some kind of bid-ask curve on open. Maybe it all depends on price action, maybe a smaller, tighter position, and also maybe moving some of my allocation over to it as well.